Important. Docper is Terra bad. Fuck. Not found. Docper. Oh man. Alright. I know capitals lies. Don't. It doesn't matter, but I like to think it does.
Traveling to Dorado. Ready for battle.
There he is. Oh, let me close that program.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds. 5, 4.
Alright, Doctor, let's see what you got.
2, 1.
So, I didn't say this. This is Docper 3232 Dorado playing Junkrat. Let's see what he has. Alright, I like it. That looks like something I would do. Also, you got the information that there's a tracer. The bad part about doing that is that if they had a good Widow, you'd be shit out of luck. Okay, at this point in time, you have to do something. You have to either completely ignore the tracer or completely kill her. Don't go halfsies. Okay, it's another game where blue killing people is bad. I see a lot of concussive mind movement, but you're not committing on anything. Okay, this is the first time you've committed something. All right, so they got a decent tracer, and you're gonna have a rough time. You will have these quite a lot, unfortunately, this first one. Okay, well, you don't got to defend yourself. I'm just saying I'm just saying what I see. All right, I calls them like I sees them. Probably want to throw it on a trap with how this Widow, or not Widow, this Tracer's playing. Holy shit, that worked. Fuck, that paid off. Okay, okay, okay. Now they do have two tanks. As soon as Reinhardt fire strike, or they have two tanks that like really can't deal with fire strike or your ult. As soon as you see a fire, oh, that's a risky one, man. Essentially, as soon as you see a fire strike, and since you killed kind of their DPS that would dive you, for sure you can get the Reinhardt. Hog's tier, yeah, he's on there. Oh, this Tracer's providing a very good distraction for you guys. Yeah, fuck that. Stop. Were you about to ult there? You almost lost your ult, I feel. You should have done a better recall prediction there. Ah, I mean, don't, dude, don't. Everyone could always do a better recall prediction all the time. Like, that's not a fair statement. Alright, I don't know if you noticed they got a Zarya. Okay. Maybe a little bit too much wibbly wobbly do. Break line of sight of everything. Just find a corner and sit in it. Alright, so Docper, a lot of sporadic stuff you're doing here. And a lot of it actually has to do with because you're pushing up a little bit too much, and there's things going on all around you. Putting yourself in the center of chaos can work sometimes, but it does make things, well, more chaotic. A little bit... Okay, yes. I was about to say a little bit too aggressive. Yeah, careful when you just pressure a Reinhardt to his face. They can turn on a dime and kill you. I forget what Reinhardt's attack speed is, but I know it's below a second. Remember, for Junkrat, you're at 0.65. So it takes a little over 3 seconds for you to get all your damage out. So if you want to do 500 damage to a Reinhardt, it's going to... He always can do it faster than you can do it. I think his attack speed's like 0.9 or like 0.8, something like that. Ryan is actually 0.96 seconds. Okay, good. That's actually a really good kill. One, you're just removing variables, and two, you reset a very high charge. Wow, that Ana just gave up on life. Yeah, so careful when pressuring a Reinhardt to his face. They have the ability just to fuck you up. Okay, this is good positioning. Fucking Ana's got the moves. Oh man, that Ana. Damn. That happens. That Tracer really was a thorn in your side.
Ready. 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
Now, because they have a Tracer, I would actually play on the low ground. Yeah, she's already in. Yeah, that's... She's behind you guys. Good. So with her in here now, you're going to have a very difficult time getting your nice little comfortable corner. Okay, good. And me personally, I would actually walk through the flank to get to this instead of just going straight to the flank. Just because, like, with my luck, I would find that Hanzo right away and just die. Good shots. Alright, you have claimed... I'm going to go with undoubtedly the best corner in Overwatch for Junkrat. Watch out for the hog on your right flank. Trap right below you. He took a lot. I mean, you did a shit ton of damage to him. That's for damn sure. If a a Winston's coming for you with his ult, wait until you get hit to a corner and land, and then throw it on your trap, basically. Basically, you need to be in control of your movement. He needs to be in the air when you throw down a trap. And you just have to time it so that when he wants to jump, you throw down the trap right on your feet. So that if he wants to jump at you, he'll have to hit the trap. Usually they jump over you. In that case, you'll run at them. It sucks. Oh, oh. Yep, that's not a, Okay. Okay, this is not tire territory. Don't just... You killed the hog, but just don't... There's an ulting hog, Docper. Don't just jump at his ass. Especially when you got the high ground. Like, keep that shit. Luca, no. If you detonate fast enough, Mercy shouldn't live through that. They got rid of the bug where she got 1 tick of health. This could be tire territory. Well, that happens. Because of how Overwatch works, if the hog is right on you, you're dead. No matter what. Throw it. Okay. Alright. The Diva is ulting. There's a high chance the hog or someone is going to go behind that van. Whenever Diva starts ulting, you need to start thinking, where's people going to hide for you to concussive mine? I think this is where you lose, right? Yes. Man, you guys just got shit on by that tracer. That's the technical analysis of your video. Tracer bad. So first of all, just a note about the whole hog thing. I don't know if there is a time frame where hog is done getting the effect of take a breather, so he's taking half damage, and before he gets the frame perfect input of just holding down mouse 1 on your face. If it works like every other ability in Overwatch works, then he gets the damage reduction until you done it. I swear I've killed it, but I always thought maybe just that the hogs were bad and they just didn't sit on my face with a fucking shotgun to the head. Yeah, it's a very tight window, and not only that, you have to have the tire essentially touching hog to kill him. Tire has a very, very sharp fall off, which is like if hog hooks tire, and the hook distance is like 1.5 meters now instead of 2, I think, or whatever it is. Hog will always live if you detonate at that point, because it loses like 50 to 100 damage within the first meter. So, with you, Docper, it really sucks because you actually you actually had a bit of the face tank issue that we've seen twice tonight, which kind of goes along the lines of it's the most common issue I've seen Junkrats have at all levels. But the big issue is that the Tracer whooped your ass so hard, it's hard to actually say what you did or didn't do in the game. So we can just kind of talk about Tracer. The truth is the best thing you can do against Tracer is Concussive Mind. Basically, you have to use one, make her use Recall, hit her again, and just see what you can get with your teammates. Trying to think. Yeah, I'm trying to. Basically, it comes down to Tracer tactics. You kind of have to ignore her a little bit. Because your shots, man, they're just not going to hit the mark, right? Most of the time, you're not going to hit them. Every now and then, you'll get some damage off, but she probably has recall, and then you just got to do it all over again. It's usually more efficient either to shoot the tanks, or in this case, if their Tracers being very aggro, and their tanks are pushed up, what it does open up is that now there is space for their supports to be flanked. And then it comes down to, does the map support it or not? Right? Because if they got the Reinhardt with the shield, supports back here, and then their DPSers are out here, this is their weak point. Because this is, highly mobile, so it's going to be really tough to actually put damage and kill her. I would actually look at putting damage, one, on the tank, or B, the supports. And kind of ignore the Tracer, because it's just not worth your time. It really isn't. If your team's kind of like, if your front line's doing well and your supports are healing them, and it's essentially kind of like a stalemate, then you can kind of throw some shots at the Tracer while you're setting up. For the most part, you just keep her at an arm's length. Don't worry about her. Your team's kind of have to deal with it itself. And I know that sounds horrible. You're like, well, so I just let my team die? Well, if you can't deal with the Tracer, then you kind of have to do what the Tracer's doing to your team, to their team, which is harass the back lines. Both teams are harassing the back lines. The team that the support dies first essentially starts losing the tank battle. And then at that point, once your tanks clear their tanks, then the Tracer can just kind of be mitigated because everyone can deal with her. It's really tit for tat at that point. It starts from a humble beginnings of, I can't do shit about that Tracer. And, with bad Tracers, I get it. You can be like, well, I can kind of zone her. We can kind of keep things safe. If you have a Mercy, damage boosted mind can kind of get her. It can catch her by surprise sometimes. But if you don't have that, then you kind of have to deal with them. My problem is that I'm terrible at flanking with Rat. I can tell you why you're terrible at flanking with Rat. It's because you shoot first. Or end up with no mines to escape. It's not really escaping. You have to get a kill and then make it so inefficient for them to kill you that they're going to lose something else to get to you. So what I do is, if I flank, sometimes I'll get a kill, and then you don't have to back all the way out. You can find a safe spot, and you're just like, well, I'm going to sit here because my team is still putting pressure on their team. And if their tanks turn around, then we just straight up win the tank war. Right? I just make it really, really shitty for them to kind of engage me. But the thing when flanking is, if you're flanking someone, and you're over here, and you take some shots, the element of surprise is gone. Like, the flank is up. It's done. They know you're there. They're going to start avoiding your shots. They're going to start, doing different things. That makes it harder for you to get your damage off. You really have to pull your shots until you can get a kill. And you don't have to, get up into melee range and kill them and get out. But you need to make it a little bit higher probability than shooting from, 50 meters away, let's say. And then it's like, I'm a Junkrat in a small room, and if you're not a tank, come in here and you die. But if you're a tank, come in here, then my team pushes into you. Correct. Yeah, as soon as... You have to... Because Overwatch, again, it's a numbers game a lot of the time. And if you're flanking and you're causing havoc from one side, the truth is tanks, well, tanks deal damage. It's not a big fucking secret. Tanks are really strong. So if their tank gets pulled off of the main line and your team now has 2 tanks against 1 tank, holy shit, that's great. That's very good for your team. And you just have to make it so expensive that they essentially just waste so much time that your team pushes in. That's the trick behind flanking. If you flank when their team is not engaged, it's not a flank. They all just turn towards you and they kill you. Now, if you flank when their team is engaged, like there's this battle going on right here, then that's the sweet stuff. They don't have the time or the resources to pivot and deal with you. That's when you can start doing damage. And if they do make a choice and deal with you, fuck, they're rolling the dice, right? This is when you're making the enemy team make decisions. And every time they make a decision, they have a chance of being wrong. And there's a bunch of different things during this to calculate if they're wrong or right. But no one has time to calculate all that. So you're just trying to make them make 10, 15, 20 decisions while your team only makes 1 or 2. Like, you're really making a game very simplistic for your team and very difficult for their team. That's what you want. And yeah, Raccoon is right. Like, there are maps where you can just peace out. And even then, like on Dorado, like if they don't have a hit scan, what were they running? They're running Hanzo Tracer. You can just fucking peace out, but like take the high ground and just shoot from really far away. And that pisses them off because they see you then. Then they're just like, look, the Junkrat's not even like flanking us. He's just standing far away and shooting us from a weird angle. Like, someone deal with them. Well, their Tracer's flanking, but she can't deal with that. They have like Hog and Reinhardt. They can't deal with high ground. Alright, they got supports then to deal with you, which some supports can. But then if the supports are dealing with you, then they're not dealing with the main line. Right, you're just trying to take whatever you can. This is the whole concept of flanking, is not getting a kill. It's just pulling whatever you can off the force, off the main fight, and making it advantageous for your team. Feels like that's what the Tracer did to us, made me make mistakes. Yeah, exactly. That Tracer just absorbed resources and made the push slower, which means their tank won the tank game, which made them win the fight, means you have to reset. Also means they probably got an ult advantage and you didn't. That's what that's what the Tracer really did. Even if she didn't get kills, let's just say she just harassed you guys, didn't get any kills. Still would have done her job. So I feel like because you kind of got dunked on by a Tracer, I really can't talk about your mechanics. Like, I think your positioning is okay. Again, you have a habit of face tanking, so again, just avoid that. Trap more, just cuz. But it's hard to really say too much because you're trying to deal with a very nimble enemy, and I can't be like, well, your accuracy's shit. Like, well, yeah, you're shooting at Tracer half the fucking game. Of course it's going to be low. It's more about flanking and why. And maybe that's a good spot for you to be at now. Because this is a very large chunk of information for you to actually digest and put into practice. Because the first step is going to be like, you have to understand they're doing something that you can't deal with, and inherently you want to deal with it. But the truth is just, fuck it, your team will handle themselves, do the same thing that they're doing to your team, to their team, and see what you can make come of it. Because if they got one hero in your back lines, then that's actually one less hero you got to deal with when you're in their back lines, right? Especially when they have Tracer Hanzo, right? They lack that. And I know Hanzo's almost a hit scan, but they lack that true hit scan to really punish you if you're out in the open. Other problem is I miss point blank shots way too much. So all right, so I know Junkrat's a projectile, and you think, well, in point blank, that makes it not a projectile, basically. And you're wrong there. You still have to lead a little bit with point blank shots when they're moving. I think that's the first problem I see people have. I don't know if that's exactly what was happening to you, but is that what you feel like? Like, you're shooting at them and you still miss? Sorta. Like that Zarya on point one defense? I mean, look, just because they're point blank doesn't mean they're easy shots. Look, if point blank shots were easy, then people would just take a shotgun and always hit, right? But it's not how it works. Yeah, I know what you're talking about the point one attack. Basically, when you're cleaning up the enemy team, you missed a couple shots and then you hit a couple. And there's not much I can tell you about that. Right, that's a mechanic thing. That's like you have to understand how to hit a target. And I can't tell you how to move your mouse and how to make you feel like that's better. I can give you the information that, again, it's a projectile, and even though you're point blank, you still have to lead a little bit. Like, very minute, but you still have to lead. And yes, Whiffingtons. Sometimes you just fucking miss, dude. That, I do that often. You guys see that. I do it on stream in front of like 100 people. I was like, hey guys, look at me miss this person 6 times in a row. Did you have any other questions? It's just, I apologize for the poor review. It's just that I can't. When you're constantly being harassed and the game is actually different than a standard game, it's not different than a standard game. It's just a different situation that is almost played completely different than a normal-ish game. Here, I have a question or two once the review is done. Okay. Well, if Docper doesn't have any questions or concerns, I just want to make sure he feels like he got his points worth. I may think of more questions later, but for now I haven't got any. Okay. Well, dude, you're in Discord. You're on the stream all the time. Feel free to ask whenever. You're one of my primary viewers. You're always around, so yeah, more than welcome to ask whatever you need. I'll try to help you when I can. Probably submit another review time for sure. You're always welcome, dude. Appreciate you too, Docper, even though you're a piece of shit.